Hello everyone, welcome to the IAS Mentor Modern Indian History series. For mentorship program, please keep following the IAS Mentor YouTube channel. We are continuing the colonial administration. With this class, we are going to finish the administrative setup that was started by East India Company. We are going to end this chapter with this class. Remaining acts that the British Parliament is going to pass, that we will cover as we proceed to the next chapters. Because after the Great Revolt, 1857 revolt, they are going to bring various changes that we will analyze as we are going to understand the resistance of the British Raj and freedom struggle. But for now, we are going to finish this chapter with this class, with the 1853 Charter Act. In this class, we will study Charter Act 1833 and Charter Act 1853. In the previous class, I have explained that East India Company used to get monopoly rights for every 20 years, or East India Company used to get the license for every 20 years. 1793 Charter Act is there, 1813 Charter Act, 1833 Charter Act, 1853 Charter Act. Every time, whenever they give the license, they extended to 20 years plus 20. But only difference now in 1853, they did not mention, they did not specify any number of years. That helped British Parliament to completely remove East India Company administration in India and completely take over by the Crown. That happened after the Great Revolt 1857. In 1853, they have taken certain steps. Whatever steps they have taken in 1853, this laid very strong foundation to Indian parliamentary system. Indian parliamentary system. Already the steps were started slowly up to here, but the provisions of 1833 clearly indicated that this is going to be very strong foundation for present day Indian parliamentary system. Let us see what are the provisions of 1833. When it comes to the provisions, we also need to know what is happening in England by 1830s. By 1830s in Europe, this is Africa, India. Now, at this point of time, in England, various changes are going on. This is under influence of French Revolution. French Revolution is talking about liberal ideas. French Revolution in the first place influenced by the ideas of Enlightenment. Enlightenment in 1700s. Enlightenment in Europe got inspiration from the Enlightenment in England. Enlightenment that was going on from 1600s, 1700s. Now we are in 1800s. By this time period, the liberal principles became very popular. In British Parliament and British Cabinet also, the leaders were talking about liberal principles like we should treat people equally and we should respect the rights of the people, and also we should take policies. The government should take policies in such a way it benefits larger sections of the people. That policy or that philosophy came to be known as utilitarianism. Utilitarianism, like Jeremy Bentham, James Mill, these are the key proponents of utilitarianism. That means, suppose if there is any kind of society, if that society needs progress, government should intervene. Government should take the steps in such a way this society will can be moved in the path of progress. For example, in that context only, Governor General of Fort William, like William Bentinck, he was strongly under the influence of utilitarianism. He was also instrumental in abolishing sati practice in 1829. Are you understanding in which context this 1833 Act is going to come? 1833 Act is going to come in this kind of atmosphere. Even in British Parliament, in British Cabinet also, the parties whoever following these principles are getting power also. That means popular people are now expecting liberal principles in the governance. It is also the time period of industrial revolution. Because of industrial revolution, many companies were established or many industries developed. But when it comes to industries, the working conditions were very poor working conditions. As a result, what happens? There were even movements also from the working class that there must be good wages, good working conditions, and good way of life for the workers also. As a result, even British Parliament also taking cognizance of this, and they are passing certain laws which will benefit large sections of the people. In 1832, Reforms Act was also passed for the British people to give more liberal principles to the people and liberal policies to the British people. They increased even the number of parliamentary seats also so that more sections of the people can be represented. So these are the principles that are going on. Now, in that context, 1833 came, 20 years done from 1813. Now, British Parliament is now debating what should we do with the East India Company and its administration in India. This is the mindset. Now, with this mindset, they wanted to give some kind of principle to this governance also. Now, by 1833, the Indian condition is like this. Now, I am going to give you the timeline. You yourself can understand how they have conquered different territories. In 1757, Battle of Plassey took place. 1764, Battle of Buxar took place. 1765, dual governance. In 1773, with the Regulating Act, tried to regulate, and in 1784, when it comes to the Bengal presidency, it is getting more powers. This is Bengal presidency. Now, by 1799, Mysore also conquered. Nizam already signed Treaty of Subsidiary Alliance Treaty with the English people. As a result, Madras presidency also enlarged. Madras presidency also enlarged. You see how East India Company is expanding its territories. Now, they are even entering into this region also. By 1818, Maratha Empire also captured. Now their power reached till this. And when it comes to this area, even though Awadh is there, Awadh also signed agreement with the East India Company. They were also indirectly under East India Company. Maratha Empire also came. Only except major territories like Punjab, Sikh, and Sindh and Punjab Empire now under Ranjit Singh. Punjab Kingdom was under Ranjit Singh. Sindh was having different equation with the British. They maintain friendly relation. They don't have any issue. this much big by 1833 came. In 1813 itself, already British Parliament told the East India Company that gradually you have to limit your administrative commercial activities and focus on administrative activities. In 1873 itself, people were demanding the entry of other industries also into India. That in 1813 it was allowed. Now what is happening here? In 1813, if you see the commercial provisions, if you see the commercial provisions in 1813, other industries were also opened. Other industries, East India Company lost the monopoly except in tea and except with China. Still with China, as per 1813, with China and with tea, only in these two angles, East India Company is now having monopoly. Now in 1833, what is going to happen? They are going to remove that monopoly also. So that is why you have to connect with the previous dot, then it becomes easy to remember the provision of this particular act. Removal of monopoly. Now, if there is no monopoly means what? In tea also, in China also, now across this Indian Ocean, everywhere, British industries can freely come and roam, they do business. As a result, many industries, many companies are going to come to India. Now, if companies are going to come to India, industries are going to come to India means, if company comes, they needed land to settle. For that, they required a law that now the parliament is saying that any British person can go and settle here, settle anywhere in the East India Company territories. And in fact, these are not East India Company territories. From 1813, 73 onwards, from 1793 onwards, they were already saying that these are the British possessions. In 1784, in 1784 Pitt's India Act, in 1793 Charter Act, in 1813 Charter Act, they were continuously saying these are not East India Company territories, these are British possessions. Now those British possessions are now becoming crown lands. Crown means every British citizen is having right to go and settle here also. Now this say this in 1833 official colonization is happening. Now any British citizen can come and settle in India. They can purchase land and they can settle here. That's what official when it comes to migration, official colonization means anyone can come and settle. There was no ban on the British citizen to come and settle in India. That's what the official colonization is starting. Monopoly done. Any person can come and settle here. That's what migration. Now, what is happening now? These are not British East India Company territories. These are now crown lands. According to crown lands, that means you have to apply British parliamentary system here also. This is where some provisions are coming. They are going to become strong foundation for modern day parliamentary system. Like for example, today what is the condition? India is a republic country, president at the top, executive and legislature and judiciary. And now this is at a central level, and here state level also we have governor, executive, legislature, judiciary. This is what the present day system. Now when it comes to the 1833, identify this. This is today. This kind of system is emerging now in 1833. This is how in 1833 Governor General, who is the first Governor General of Fort William? Remember it. In the end, I am going to give you the questions like that. Governor General of Fort William, Warren Hastings. Now in 1833, they are going to call not as Governor General of Fort William. These are not governor. This is not Governor General of Fort William. It is Governor General of entire India. You see the distinction. Governor General of India. This itself is indicating that now the British Empire is now becoming large, which started from Battle of Plassey, Carnatic Wars, which they started with small territorial gains, to now entire India is under their control except northwestern frontiers. And by 1853, they are going to get that also. Governor General of India, William Bentinck. William Bentinck was the first Governor General of India. Now, the moment first Governor General of India means Madras, Bombay, and Calcutta. Madras, Bengal, Madras, and Bombay. Bombay, Madras, and Calcutta, Bengal. Consider Bengal presidency. All are going to come under Governor General of India. The provincial powers were removed. Now, Madras Governor, Bombay Governor clearly should work under Governor General of India. The powers of Governor General are going to be supreme. Governor General will have Executive Council. Governor General in Executive Council. How many members? 3 members. Governor General, Executive Council, 3 members up to 1833. Now, one more member is going to be added. And the purpose of this member is to advise the people for making legislation. Legislature. That means Governor General of India will be there. Executive Council with 3 members up to now. Now 4th member also added. This 4th member is going to stay when these Executive Council, when this Executive Council meet as a legislative body. This is like cabinet, this is like parliament. Cabinet and parliament. Whenever this body is going to sit for legislation, then 4th member will be there. That member is called law member. First law member was Macaulay. Macaulay was the law member. Even though he was added as a law member for legislative purpose, but he was given permission by Court of Directors to sit almost in every Executive Council. That is why in 1853, this member is going to become a permanent member in Executive Council. In 1833, not a permanent member. Whenever as a body, legislative body, they are going to sit for making laws, this member will be there. That member is law member. In 1853, this law member is going to become permanent. This one member, law member, becomes permanent. In 1853, for making legislature, these 4 members will be there. In addition to that, 6 more members they are going to add. Now you see how 1833 and 1853, how they are going to change. But 1833, William Bentinck was the first Governor General of India. This itself is an indication that now empire is reached almost the entire Indian subcontinent except northwestern part. Executive Council will be there with 3 members, permanent, already there. 1 more member will be added called law member for legislative purpose. In that way, executive and legislature, 2 wings started. The liberal leaders in London were expecting similar kind of parliamentary system in India also. That is why they are bringing these kind of reforms. Now, what about this? Governor General of India is going to take care of the powers of Governor General. He is supreme in terms of military, means conducting wars, treaties, mobilizing military, civilian affairs, maintaining law and order, revenue affairs, collecting taxes, everything now is going to be in the name of Governor General. That Governor General of India in the present day times like a president. But on top of president, Constitution of India is there. But beyond that, no other country is there in the present times. But here, Governor General of India, here on top of Governor General of India in London, East India Company Court of Directors and Board of Control. And Board of Control means again cabinet control or parliament control and the crown control. Gradually, they are reducing the power of Court of Directors and they are trying to bring parliamentary form of system for India. In India, Governor General of India is the topmost person and under him everything will happen. Even when it comes to Madras, Bombay also, they have to function under Governor General of India. The legislature, when it comes to this, earlier they were having their own councils. Governor councils are there for making laws for them. Now even they removed that. Everything is given to Governor General of India. As a result, what happened? This resulted in the centralization. Centralization of power took place. So 1833 Act laid foundation for centralization of power. They have deprived the powers of provinces also and kept every power in the hands of Governor General of India. Naturally, they are going to resist, but for now, Governor General is supreme. And this decentralization will take after some time, gradually, after 1857 revolt, they are going to give powers back to this. That is why today we have federal system. Federal system means central government has certain powers, state governments have certain powers, and constitution clearly defined what are the powers of states and what are the powers of center. This is centralization of power. Governor General of India is the most powerful one. William Bentinck was the first Governor General of India. Modern form of parliamentary system that is taking shape in this form, Executive Council and Legislature. This Executive Council already started in 1773 itself with Regulating Act itself. You remember? Governor General in Executive Council, 4 members were there. And due to some differences, Governor General was not able to act. In 1784, with the Pitt's India Act, Governor General Executive Council members were removed. 1 member was removed. Only 3 members were given. Later, when Cornwallis came, he was given more powers to override even Executive Council also. Now that is taking parliamentary form of body, that is whenever they sit for making laws, whenever they sit for making decisions with respect to execution, they will act as like a cabinet. Whenever they sit for making laws, 1 more member called law member will be added. Macaulay was the first law member. And this member is going to be permanent in 1853. President, executive, legislature, like this. So when it comes to commercial, they lost monopoly. East India Company lost monopoly. Now they have to focus fully on administration. They have given 20 years. That 20 years they have to keep the territories of India not as personal territories of East India Company, but as possessions of crown and successors. So that means now India officially is becoming crown lands. In this way, when it comes to legislature, executive wings started. And one more, as I said, liberal principles. When it comes to liberal principles in England, if they are following liberal principles, do you think they will discriminate based on caste, religion, race, and all? These are the liberal principles. They are seeing everyone equal. No race, no caste, no color, no place of birth, no descent. It doesn't matter whether you belong to a particular race, particular gender, particular race, particular caste, particular color, particular place of birth. Doesn't matter. You should be treated equally and you should be given equal chance everywhere. That principle is also going to come. But when it comes to the principle, they will have all the liberal principle. But when it comes to practicality, they will not follow it. That is what the typical nature of British administration in India. But at least in England, liberal principles, utilitarian principles were strongly popular. The winds of change are coming now. As a result, they brought a principle even in bureaucracy also. In bureaucracy, what they have told, now India is now gradually coming under crown. On behalf of crown, East India Company is only taking care. But East India Company should not discriminate any Indian citizen based on caste, based on religion, based on race. No one should be deprived of any opportunity in the administration. So here they are saying that no race, no color, no caste, no place of birth, no descent. Everyone is equally eligible to be part of administration. At least in theory, they brought this, but in practice, they are not going to fulfill this. That is what our freedom fight is all about. In theory, you are saying all these principles, but in practice, only white people, only British people are going to enjoy all the powers. You consider this. They have created executive council and legislature. Who are going to be these members? British people only. They created Supreme Court. Again, who are going to be the members? British only. When you are saying this liberal principle, but you are not following, that is why we are demanding. That's what freedom fight is all about. But at least in principle, they are going to say that irrespective of the caste, creed, race, and place of birth, no one will be deprived of any opportunity. In theory, they are saying Crown will encourage merit system. At least in theory, that provision is also added. And they don't want slavery also. That is why slavery abolition steps also they are going to take. By 1843, they are going to abolish slavery also. The main fundamental provision of 1833 Act is this one. Governor General of India going to become supreme. Centralization of power take place. Madras and Bombay also cannot legislate for their causes. Even they have to depend on Executive Council, Governor General Executive Council, and Governor General Legislative Council. Governor General is going to take care of all these military, civilian, revenue, all kinds of affairs. This is what 1833 provisions. And after this, another 20 years, in 1853, once again 20 years came. Now, once again came for charter. Earlier, they were given 20 years. That means 20 years you are going to take care of Indian possessions on behalf of Crown. Now they are telling that number one, no specified number of years. No specified number of years. That means they did not mention specifically that 20 years they are going to run. No, they did not mention. As and when. So the provision is like this. Till the time the provision is saying like this, until parliament should otherwise provide. So simply until parliament requires, until crown requires, you are going to administer Indian possessions. If parliament requires, we take the control fully back. We take crown, if crown wants fully, we take the control from you. No specified number of years until parliament decides. East India Company will continue to hold. If parliament decides, completely they can take from East India Company. That's what they are going to do. In 1857 revolt, when 1857 revolt occurred, they passed one act called an Act for Better Government of India, and with that they have taken this, because now there is no provision in the act itself. If there is a provision, they have to honor that provision. Again, next 20 years they cannot do. But now as that 20 years, that provision is not there, immediately after the revolt, already for very long time period, parliament is expecting to take complete control. They got this opportunity, they completely removed East India Company altogether in the administration. It is also like any of the companies that were there in England. That is what in 1858 they are going to remove. Because this was possible because they did not mention this 20 years clause in the Charter Act. Second provision. Law member became permanent. Permanent in Executive Council. Now, Governor General of India, Executive Council, Legislative Council. Governor General in Executive, they will be meet as Parliament, legislative body. Now, when it comes to this, 4 members. This 4 member is earlier 3 plus 1 law member, permanent. When it comes to legislation, if the same body meet as legislation, they will be having these 4 members also plus 6 more members. They are going to have 6 more members. Now, who are these 6 members? Come to this. By 1853, Indian territories also reached the natural boundaries. In 1843, Sindh was conquered. By 1849, Punjab region also conquered. It first Anglo-Sikh War and second Anglo-Sikh War. Sikh kingdom also captured. Now, Calcutta Presidency, Madras Presidency, Bombay Presidency, and Northwestern Presidency. Bengal, Madras, and Bombay. Calcutta, Madras, Bombay, Northwest. These are the one. Now, one member will be represented from one member from here, one member from here, one member from here, and one member from Bengal Presidency. 4 from 4 presidencies, 4 members. Who are these? Not these 4 members, these 4 members. These 4 members are executive. In these 6 members, 4 members from 4 provinces, and 2 members from judiciary. Already Supreme Court is there. Supreme Court was established with Regulating Act. Regulating Act, you remember? Regulating Act. Their Chief Justice and 1 judge will be there. If Governor General wants, he can even nominate 2 members from civil service also, bureaucracy also. But they did not exercise. In this way, 6 members were there additionally. 4 members were part of cabinet. In this way, now you see this cabinet. Now it is becoming like a parliament. Even today also, here Council of Ministers are there. All Council of Ministers were part of parliament also. Do you see this? Constitution of India clearly says that the executive must come from the parliament, and that way executive is responsible to the parliament. Parliament can control activities of executive or Council of Ministers. This is how the modern day parliament is emerging. In 1833, that foundation laid. In 1853, it is even refined. But what about Indians? Indians are not mentioned here. But in 1833, it is clearly mentioned, no race, no color, everyone should be given opportunity, merit will be followed. But when it comes to practice, they will not give chance. This is what Indian freedom fighters are going to continuously demand, that you increase the number of Indians in executive council, increase number of Indians in legislative body, in bureaucracy also give the chance to Indians, judiciary also give the chance to Indians to enter into the higher upper layers of judiciary, but they are not going to do. That is why on one hand, British say equality, liberal principles, but in practice they are not going to do. They will continuously discriminate Indians based on race, based on color. That is what next freedom fight is all about. Could you see this? In 1853, these are the important provisions. No more 20 years provision. Second one, they refined executive council and legislative council. This executive means 4 members, law member is permanent. Legislative body, if they meet as legislative body, 6 more members are going to come and they will do legislation for entire India. Could you see this? So in this way, executive body as well as legislative body has taken shape like modern day parliamentary system. These are the 2 important provisions of 1853 Charter Act. In 1857, when Great Revolt took place, now this equation is going to change. They are going to try to involve Indians also in the Indian administration, and that will go on. As we proceed, as we know about resistance to British Raj, as we know about national freedom fight or nationalism, we will understand what are the various laws and what are the various provisions. That is why from 1860s onwards, we are going to see Indian Councils Act, Indian Councils Act, Indian Councils Act. Do you see why that Indian Councils Act? To increase number of Indians in that councils and to give more powers. In 1853, even though for namesake they have created this, but Governor General of India is having the veto power. Even if they question also, they need not to listen and they can do whatever they want to do. That's what nationalism is all about, to increase number of Indians here and also to give more powers to parliament. And that is what 1850 Indian constitution is going to balance between executive and legislature. All right, this about 1853 Act. With this, all charter acts are completed. Let me give you the questions. Now I am going to give you the questions from all the chapters. So far we have covered. Number 1, who was first Governor General of Fort William? Remember this. Who is the Governor General? First Governor General of Fort William. Second one, same thing, Governor General of India. Third one, who was first law member? Who was first law member? Fourth one, Fourth one. Board of Control was established by which act? Remember this. This was covered in previous class. Board of Control was established by which act? Fifth one. Supreme Court of Fort William was established by. See this? Supreme Court of Fort William established by. Board of Control was established by. Who was the first law member? Who was the first Governor General of India? And who was the first Governor General of Fort William? Answer these questions in the comment box. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.